the heart of Southern California in sunny San Diego, United by Bass is proud to present an audio experience like no other. In a world where political correctness has run amok, we say go fuck yourself. Welcome to Real Talk with Rita, with your host MC Rita and Ghost MD.
That's right. Welcome back. This is Real Talk with Rita. I am your host, MC Rita. I'm joined by my companion, Ghost MD. Ghost, how you doing?
Good. What up? What up?
It's good to be back, man.
Very good.
Didn't think we were actually going to make it past the first one, did we?
I did.
I think most people didn't think we would. And we got some reviews to say that otherwise, too. Today, we're joined in the studio with one of my longtime friends, my business partner with United by Bass and SD Union. We love bass, Safari, everything in between. He's known as Garva, the Garv father. It is Brandon Garva. Welcome, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm glad to have you.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Have you here?
I'm surprised you're on number 2 as well.
Yeah, right? No one thought we'd make it. I didn't, yeah, you know. It happens. Before we go any further, we need to ask all of you to follow us on Twitter at RTW_Rida, RIDDA. That's where you can vote in all the polls for It's a Banger, to tell us that we suck, or if you think we're good, different guests you'd like us to have, any suggestions, feel free to hit us up there. That's where we do most of our social online presence. Second, we ask everyone to have patience with us as we find our voice. We desperately tried in the first one. I wonder if you could hear that train that just went by. Like we said in the first episode, we don't do podcasts. This is something new to us, and so we do ask for your patience as we find our voice and our legs through this. With that said, let's get into episode number 2.
I'm gonna put my dick in.
MC Rita
I'm gonna put my dick in.
and Ghost MD.
We are here live at Spin Nightclub in San Diego, California, for our last event of the year, United by Bass. That's right, Brandon. Yep. We have Nathan Barato in town with Joe P, Maddie Ladd, and Delos. It's House and Techno night. No snares to be found anywhere. Speaking of the show that we're here tonight, Garva, what do you think? How do you think 2019 went for United by Bass? You know, what were your takeaways? Some of the good experiences you had this year.
Yeah, I think 2019 was a pretty good year. I feel like we had a lot of momentum. We had a lot of really good shows. I think we got a lot of new fans this year. I feel like a majority of our shows, 90% of the people I had never seen before. So I'm really happy with our progress, man. Some of the favorite shows of the year would have to be going back to back with Ghost opening up for Calix and TV. That was
probably my favorite.
That was epic, yeah.
That was a wicked night, man.
The Craze night was pretty.
Yeah, and then to get to go back to
ridiculous.
back with Rebel Lion for Craze, that was those were big nights for me. So those were probably my 2 favorite moments of the year for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, man, how do you think it went?
You know, I think just like any other year, there's always the goods, the bads, the ups and downs. I think this year with SD Union in particular, it was a really up year for us. It was a really good year for drum and bass. Whereas the House and Techno, it wasn't as good of a year, but our presence was still felt, and we still made the mark that we set out to make. So I think overall 2019 was another great year for the brand and for the overall growth of our community and following. So I think it was overall great. And again, I think drum and bass exceeded all expectations this year as far as what we saw.
Yeah.
We're definitely seeing our crowd grow with each show. It's not necessarily about the headliners as much anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, I would agree. I do have to say, though, when it comes to the house and techno side of things, I feel like, I think we're still making ourselves known in the scene and establishing, the fact that we're not going anywhere for a while.
That's for sure.
But I'm really proud of our whole Stay United brand. I think that's been epic. We've had some really great shows with those guys. Stay Bad and Flatline Presents. They're awesome crews. They're great souls, great people. They're fun to work with. They share the passion, and we had some really good turnouts. So
definitely. I wasn't trying to necessarily make it out to be a bad thing. I just think in comparison, I was just saying.
Oh, well, yeah. If we're comparing our house and techno side to our D&B side, D&B was definitely the strongest this year.
I mean,
It was,
yeah.
yeah, we've had a really, really good year here in the scene as far as building, you know?
Going forward into 2020, what are some of the goals, expectations that you have for the brand? Some of the things that you're looking forward to maybe trying to expand into or doing next year?
I'm excited to build We Love Bass more than anything else, really. You know, I think we've got some momentum. This last show that we just did on November 16th, it was a fun show. Everyone had a great time. You know, it was a good turnout, and I think we've got something really special there. So I'm excited to build We Love Bass. There's some other aspects of the business that I definitely like to work on as well. I mean, you know, you and I both talk about it a lot. There's a handful of names left on our list, you know, our bucket list, and I'd like to get those guys in 2020. So
Yeah,
we have
good
our
luck.
10-year anniversaries coming up, you know, so it's gotta be somewhat as special as the 5-year.
It's been 10 years.
I know, right?
10 years, man.
That's
SD Union. Isn't that crazy?
It
That
really
is
is.
I mean, what's really cool is that, I mean, the three of us have been pretty much with SD Union since the very start of it, very beginning of
Yeah.
it. And, you know, we've seen people come and go, but right here in this room is actually, like, I would say the core family of the brand from the start, essentially.
Yep.
And it's interesting to see how SD Union has grown from a small bar in Hillcrest, you know, with all locals doing anywhere from 25 to 60 attendees.
Yeah, if there were 75 people, you know, we were stoked. And just it's crazy to think too about starting on a stage with just a table and speakers, and that was it. It was just like, okay, we're gonna set up some gear and we're gonna play some music and have some fun. To where now it's, you know, trying to do themes and bigger productions and visuals, and it's just really cool to see the way it's progressed for sure. It's crazy to think about our humble beginnings, you know.
Yeah, and well, I mean, speaking of humble, I mean, we stay humble too, though. That's one of the things I love about our crew, and I love about United by Bass in general is it's kind of sticking to our roots. You know, and that's something that you and I both kind of instill into the team, as far as never thinking we're bigger than anything else, or never trying to act as if we deserve anything more than anyone else, you know?
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I do love about our team, because everyone works so hard for our brand.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
On a different level, you know, I think, man, a lot has been going on in your life in this last year. You had your second child. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
2 babies in the house is just too much, man.
Yeah.
Is it? How's that been?
That's great. I mean, we're really lucky. Like, my son is, you know, he's super caring and all about his little sister. He likes to take care of her, and she, like, is always watching him, and they're starting to play together and doing all sorts of cute baby stuff that is just crazy to watch. Like, the way he tries to, like, feed her and things like that. My sister's a total bitch, so we, I never had that close relationship. So to watch these 2 kids getting along so well, I'm like, oh, man, it's possible.
See, my brother was super cool to me when no one was around, but the second his friends came around, it was the cool syndrome came in, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden he was too cool, and he'd let his friends beat me up, he'd beat me up and whatnot. So, I mean, that's cool to hear that your kids
Yeah.
are getting along like that.
Yeah, I'm an only child.
That explains a lot. I mean,
Well, me and Lisa talked about having another kid, and then we were like, nah, we'll just get a dog. And then we got a dog.
that's kind of how, you know, Melissa and I feel. We have, you know,
Yeah.
2 dogs. We're good.
Yep.
I get it when people call animals their babies. It makes sense to me, you know.
It's
And the animals that I've grown up with, they're my family too, you know what I mean?
Listen, I freely admit this, and I'm selfish, and I will admit this. I like my time. I like to be able to travel, and even the dogs prevent us from doing a lot of the things
Yeah.
that we'd like to do. So, like, I can't
gotta
imagine
just
having
take off for a
children, you know?
weekend.
Yeah.
At least the dogs can't talk back. They don't have a voice to tell me.
Dude, my kid is starting to, like, she'll say, no, it isn't, to, like, anything. Like, it can be, we can be standing in the pouring rain, and I'll be like, it's raining. And she'll be like, no, it isn't.
Well, I mean, I overheard on the phone with you earlier how when she's like, I don't feel good. And, you know, and you're like, that's what she just says when she's hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when she just wants anything, period. She'll be like, I don't feel good. You know, be like, what do you want? And she'll be like, ice cream. And I'll be like, that's not going to make you feel any better if you don't feel good. I don't know where she got that from, but I find it hilarious. Because at first, me and Lisa were super paranoid, you know, like, oh my God, what's wrong with our kid, you know? Like,
Yeah.
she's not feeling good, like, every day. And then, like, one day, she said that, and I just asked her. I said, "What do you want?" And she's like, "Soda." And I'm like, "You're not feeling bad. You just say that to get a soda out of me."
Yeah. They manipulate you, man. They find ways.
Well, the other day I got her really good because, like, she's like, "Can I have a French fry?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but they're really hot." And she's like, "No, it isn't." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah? Go ahead and stick it in your mouth." And she, like, went to put it in her mouth, and she was like, "Daddy, that's hot." And I'm like, "Yes. See? I told you so."
It's so crazy to think that you're a dad.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's like baffling, but also beautiful at the same time because I've seen a change in you from like there's definitely club rave Patrick and then there's dad Patrick.
Yeah.
And that's cool to see. And it gives me hope that I can have kids too.
Yeah, well,
There's no hope for you, Tyler.
I'm actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. It's just hard when, like, they push you way past your, like, 10th nerve. You're like, stop. And they keep doing it, and you, like, start to get a little madder. And you're like, please stop. And they just look at you and just keep doing it, like, staring right in your face, just laughing at you. And you're like, you get to that point where you're like, dude, I want to hit you right now. Like, I want to slap you in the face.
See, that would be my problem.
I want to push you down the stairs, but
I'd end up going to jail.
no, we don't really hit our kid, so we just put her in a
good.
room.
That's good news, dude.
Well, I have like threats. I threaten her with violence constantly. I do this where like I put my hands up like I'm gonna choke her. Like I'm gonna choke you. But yeah, she's definitely my kid. And
that's for damn sure.
We definitely have wars on who can be the most annoying. Like,
Yeah.
Definitely.
I wouldn't doubt that.
I win.
MC Ritta
They're like, how do you name party get sexual? I'm well, because everyone's going to get sexual. It's New Year's Eve.
and Ghost MD.
Yeah, well, do you know how hard it is to snort drugs when you smell a shit in the room? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would assume that that's probably pretty difficult. Yeah.
I assume that would be pretty damn difficult.
Yeah.
Welcome to Real Talk with Ritta.
I saw an interview with DJ Kubert in High Times where he talked about the beginning days of turntable TV, and he said every time they were on acid, like all the time, they would just go in there, take a bunch of acid, hit record, and start scratching, like on TV on San Francisco's like public access.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was called turntable TV.
I don't know if I could like perform on acid. That's
See, I can, but I have to get.
yeah, it's a little much for me.
I have to get past that first 4 or 5, 6 hours, but after that, like after that, like I literally get this thing where like I feel like I can't fail no matter what I do. I've done things like when you're trying to throw a cigarette in your mouth and catch it with your lip. Yeah, I can't do that. But when I'm frying, I can do that like every time, and I'm like shocked by it. I can just sit there and throw cigarettes at my face and then laugh.
It's a gift. I can spin on acid, but I always second guess myself.
Dude, I would love for you guys to be on acid. This would have been even more fun. See, the whole goal was just to get him drunk, right? Because
Yeah.
that's because the more drunk he gets, the more hot takes come out, like loose lips he gets. Just,
Yeah,
like,
of course.
And accents. Like all of a sudden the guy has accents, and you're just like, okay, great, cool.
Oh yeah, I can actually do like pretty much any voice that I hear. Like ridiculous. Like I used to sit there and do it in school.
You sound like an Australian
Pretty much, yeah.
right now.
I can do it right now. What?
That was great.
That was really good, wasn't it?
I'm impressed.
Wow.
No, but for the most
I
part,
gotta
when I'm
mark that
not
down.
This
like
guy's
totally
good.
put on the spot as
15. That was it.
Australian's not one of
16
my
minutes.
best.
16 minutes. That was good. That was good.
I can. I was listening to what was it? A stupid song. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. But you gotta go, yeah. And and I was trying to mimic it as much as I could, and my daughter didn't think it was as funny as I did.
You know what didn't make it episode 1?
What's that?
Was our top 5 places we hate to poop.
I I love pooping everywhere, so
No.
I
Mission
don't have a
Beach.
top 5.
It was
Mission Beach
dude,
doesn't
it
have
was-
like doors on the stalls.
Patrick
and
was
there's
so
all kinds of
specific. It
homeless
was
people.
a porta potty at EDC 2000, and what year was it? It was literally a certain year.
I think it might have been.
Dude. Yeah, that was going to be one of the ones for sure.
EDC 2010.
Dude, I went to a festival and took some acid
Zodiac.
at the very beginning of the day, and it was like an hour in, and my acid kicked in, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I gotta take a shit, dude. Like, oh, damn it. And so I go over to the porta potties, and like, luckily it's still early in the day, so they're clean, you know. And I get into one of these porta potties, and I shut the door, and I go to turn the lock, and it only turns like halfway, 3/4 of the way, so you can see like it's mostly red with a little bit of green, but it's mostly red, which tells you it's occupied. And I'm starting to fry, and I'm sitting
Nah,
there
bro,
taking
you're
a
at a
shit,
rave.
and all of a sudden the door like gets pulled, but it doesn't open. And I'm like, oh, good. And then it gets a second pull, just rips open, and this chick is standing there, and I'm just like, what the f? Like, you know, I look at her, and she's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, dude, like, she had to rip the door. Like, she couldn't just pull it open. She had to rip it open. It's,
Really wanted to get in there.
anyways. Yeah, and the worst part was that like there were tons of porta potties around me that were open. She
do?
just chose my specific one.
Of course.
Of course, she gets the guy on acid trying to drop a deuce. So, just totally threw me in a funk after that came back over. I'm like, man, I feel exposed and violated.
So Garva's number one place he doesn't want to poop is at a rave, right?
Well, I mean, I will and I do, but yeah, I don't want to for sure.
Then what's your number one place that you'd hate to poop?
I mean, that is my number one place I hate to poop, but I'm just saying you gotta do what you gotta do. You know?
I usually leave the porta potty unlocked.
You want people to come in.
No, I usually leave the porta potty unlocked so that people
Why?
get a nice surprise when they open the door. My butt.
Bro, that
In their
is
face.
so up, dude.
Do you want-
You're the last thing I want to open a
Yeah,
porta potty door at a rave and see. Well, okay, a couple factors go into that. It would be what time I'm seeing you at. How many? Because if it's late in the night and you've already gone through all your drugs, I do not want to see you, dude. Because you're the last person I want to see. I've carried you around parties at, like when you're
A lot
a
of
limp
people
noodle,
have.
bro.
That was a long time ago.
Last episode, he told us why he started spitting liquid is because he started doing lots of ecstasy.
Yeah.
That's why he started. He's like, I just started, just taking
felt
lots of
good.
ecstasy, and I just
I wanted to
started
hear
playing
some
liquid.
nice, pretty shit.
We see the lazy river that we are doing tonight at Spin Nightclub has welcomed in our good friend Cameron Burncam. What's
Hey,
happening?
what's up?
How you doing, brother?
Ooh, doing great now. Got the
So-
spotlight.
Sounds good,
That's what I
right?
wanted, I'm selfish.
Welcome to Real Talk with Rita, brother.
I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Well, you have to go work the door here at our super smashed out end of the year extravaganza at Spin Nightclub. One thing we're going to ask you is, what do you think of the year at United by Base? How did you think everything went? What are your thoughts, brother?
What was your favorite show?
Ooh, so favorite show, Calix and TB 3 vs 3. That was just an epic setup. Ooh, award. I win. Yeah, that was pretty epic. It was just cool to see them like DJing against each other with each other. It was
Yeah,
pretty
the
sick.
six CDJs was a little much, wasn't
Yeah, I
it?
was like looking down like I can't even reach the end. I'm short, but still I can't reach it. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Epic. So that was a good one. But overall, we brought some pretty good talent this year. It's pretty sick. We Love Bass was pretty fun. Good vibes over there as well. But, I thought we focused on some good talent this year. We brought a lot of people to our drum and bass shows, so I was pretty stoked on, our turnouts. I feel like we just keep growing and growing, and people keep, magnetizing around our crew and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to see that growth,
Hell yeah. Top or bottom?
Dude, top all the way.
That's right, baby. That's right, baby.
No submission here.
That's right. Well, Burncam, thanks for joining us. Just like the Lazy River brought you in, it's going to take you right out.
In and out, just like I like it.
That's right, baby.
This is Real Talk with Ridda on the United by Bass Network.
Every song I download has to pass a series of rigorous tests to answer one simple question. Is it a banger?
That's right. Backed by popular demand, the smash hit from episode 1, Is It a Banger? Where our guest and Ghost MD pick 2 tunes, one they think is a banger, one they think is not a banger. They compete online on the Twitter polls. You decide who the winner is. Last month, Ghost MD swept the competition and is in the lead so far. Both of his tunes will go on to the Master Tournament at the end of the year. So, pretty excited about that. So, Patrick, introduce your tune for the banger category.
My banger is by Matt Zoe. It's called Games, and it is amazing.
Here we go. Nice one.
Yep, it's heavy, it's funky, it's got everything I like.
Hell yeah. Garva, you are here to upset the champion. What do you have for the banger category?
I've got Fibes, Started This Fire. It's a sick tune. We'll see how it does.
You started this fire. You started this fire. You started this fire.
Nice.
Definitely a banger.
Definitely a banger. Ooh, 2 good entries this
All right,
month.
I got a shot.
Dude,
Got a
those
shot
are-
taking the king down.
These are good ones, man. I'm feeling it. Again, we want to remind everyone that you can vote on these 2 tunes at our Twitter at RTW _ Ridda, RIDDA, on Twitter, and go vote on the polls. Again, whoever wins this will move on to the Master Tournament at the end of the year, where all the great tunes will go up against each other. Now, let's get into it. It's time for...
It is not a banger.
Right. Ghost MD, what is your entry into?
It is not a banger.
Happy Together is the name of it's that old, so happy together, with like, I think he's called Tantrion remix or something, but it's very jump up. Very.
All right, here we go.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold you tight. So happy together.
It is not a
I
banger.
should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me. It ease my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the sky will be blue for all my life. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the sky will be blue for all my life.
It is not a banger.
Oh my god.
It is not a banger. It is not a banger.
Oh my god. I just can't imagine how many tunes you guys have to go through to find these crap.
Not as many as you think.
Yeah, well, actually, the first time I looked for weeks. I was dedicated to finding it. But it was funny because pretty much one of the first ones I clicked on was it, and then I just went through a bunch of other stuff that didn't make the cut. If that's what you want to call it.
Oh my god. So Garva, what is your tune into the...
It is not a banger.
My tune is by an artist that I believe is DJ Slash. He's got a bunch of
Spell
numbers.
it out. You gotta...
What is it? 5L4, 5H. So I think it's DJ Slash. And the song, I believe, is called Cloud One. Once again, there's a bunch of numbers in there instead of letters. So, but yeah, DJ Slash, Cloud One.
Here we go. Mission Impossible theme song?
Yeah.
that was fucking terrible.
I'm the best at shitty music.
It is not a banger.
Damn
Not a
sure.
banger.
Oh my god. Okay, so wow, great entries into.
It is not a banger.
You can vote on these two terrible tunes on Twitter. Once again, that's RTW underscore Ridda, RIDDA on Twitter. Make sure you go vote on these two terrible tunes on Twitter. And yeah, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm kind of lost for words. But Patrick, I think you might be in trouble.
Yeah,
We'll see.
they were both pretty bad.
Yeah,
So I
those
think
were terrible.
I guess it
But
depends on which one you hate more. Really,
Mine's all like happy and yeah. We'll see.
yeah.
We'll just have to wait.
Sorry,
and
DJ
see.
Slash. I feel like an asshole right now, but you know,
Sorry guys.
gotta do what I
but,
gotta do.
Well, the best was I'm like,
Kinda
hey,
deserved
who is
it.
this DJ 5LA5H? And you're like, you mean DJ Slash? It's like, oh, it's got, definitely.
It is not a banger.
That's right. All right. We'll be back in a bit.
You're listening to Real Talk with Ridda. Keep it locked.
Patrick, how you feeling? Yeah.
Yep.
Just took a stroll through the club.
We're there. We were trying to get there, and now we're there.
That's what I like to hear.
We're there.
Now your co-host is here.
Now we're here.
Well, look who decided to show up.
It's gonna get sloppy from here on out.
Well, speaking of sloppy, Patrick, do you have that that tweet by DJ Carnage readily available that you can read for us?
I think I can pull it up.
Yeah, please pull that up. And in the meantime, we remind everyone to follow us on Twitter and social media. Vote on our Twitter polls. This is Real Talk with Ridda. I am MC Ridda. My co-host Ghost MD. This month, we're welcoming in my business partner with United by Bass and SD Union.
I like your intro
Garva.
to Ghost MD. What do you call him? Like San Diego's favorite asshole?
He's San Diego's favorite asshole. I mean, it's true.
When you
Well,
said it,
that's
yeah,
it.
I was like, yeah, no, that sounds right.
Sounds about right.
That's the funny thing that I find, because like it'd be kind of a prick, but like nobody really seems to be bothered by it. Like,
I think everyone's just
Well,
become accustomed to it.
Well, even when you are bothered by it, like there's like at least I'm speaking for myself. Like in my earlier years of knowing you, I'm like, this guy is just, he can be a belligerent asshole, but like I respect it because you just don't care. You're just
Well, I
like,
remember
I'm gonna
for
say whatever
years,
I
you're
want to
like-
say.
You're like, does Patrick not like me?
Yeah, dude.
okay, so here's the funny thing about that. So, literally, almost every single month, at least once or twice a month, somebody will come up to me at a party that I don't know and be like, dude, you don't like me, do you? And I'll be like, what? Like, I don't even really know you. Like, how the hell did you come up with that? And all these weird things. And, like, one person actually said something. They were like, well, you just seem really distant, like, every time we talk. And I explained to him that pretty much every time we talk, I'm probably pretty f***ed up. And I have this weird thing about looking people in the eye. Like, when I'm, like...
Yeah.
So I listen to what they say, but I don't really look at them or...
I get the same thing from time to time with our events. It's, I try to explain to people all the time, I'm like, listen, when we're throwing SD Union or our UBB Presents or any one of the number of events that we throw, we're in go mode. And when you see me running around the club and it looks like I'm pissed off, I'm not pissed off. I'm in a one-track frame of mind of I need to get this done right now. If I don't, I won't get the next 5 things done.
Yeah.
And so I get that all the time from people too. They're like, you don't like me. Like when we talk, it's just briefly and you just seem distant. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm thinking about the 50 things that need to be done at our event at the time. Because it's the doors don't just open and the DJs don't just show up on
and
their
then
own
we
and play.
can party, right?
There's a lot that goes into the back end of this stuff. And the coordination and all this stuff, and that's why I'm so thankful to have, Garva as my business partner, Ghost as the stage manager. It makes things so much easier. I couldn't imagine trying to do this whole charade on our own. By myself. It's fucking insane to think that.
Well, the whole time we've been doing this, like every month, I pretty much get to meet one of my favorite artists, And I don't know what they went through the night before. You know, like, I don't know if they're like struggling to make it or whatever. A few have been kind of quiet while I was trying to talk to them, but I didn't really take it as like, oh, this guy's an asshole. You know, like he doesn't, you know, I just figured shit, maybe he had a rough night in LA last night, you know, like
that's totally the best way to look at it, because at least we, as the people who pick them up from the hotel or the airport, we get a little bit more inkling into how they're feeling or what they've been through the night before. Whereas, you know, you don't get to talk to them as much as we do necessarily, and so you don't, you know, I can see where that,
which is probably a good thing. Like, oh my God, man, when I met Spectre Soul guy, I fucking went full nerd on him. I was like, hey, I really love all you guys' music, and who writes the songs? Do you guys write the lyrics, or do you sit down with the artists and write the lyrics? And I really love all the lyrics, and, you know, a lot of producers, they don't really do good lyrics, and you guys have really good lyrics. And he was just like, yeah. And I was like, I'm going to stop bothering this guy now and just go away.
I can't tell you how many times where I'll be talking to one of our artists, and they'll be saying something about like I met this guy earlier, or had this encounter with this guy, and then, you know, I'm like, oh, here's my stage manager, Patrick, and they're like, that's the guy.
Oh no,
that's our
He's
guy.
my stage manager.
Well, some of them really love me.
No, I'm just giving you some shit here.
Well, Bookham loves me.
That's hard to say.
Well,
that's hard.
He's told me that on a couple of different occasions, but like I've also been chewed out a couple times here.
He's a man that knows what he wants. He's very particular.
Oh, that's for sure.
Well,
but he's a great guy though. Once you get to know him,
I love
Danny's
Danny.
awesome. Yeah, he's a very great guy. He's very nice, but he just knows what he wants on stage, and he wants it set his way.
He's very particular.
Yeah,
very.
I can't blame him on that.
He knows way too much too. That's part of the issue. You know, he comes down, and have we ever had anybody else want to do a sound check at our night, like ever?
Only a couple people have asked, but not many people have come through and really like followed through on that request. The only other person really is Hive.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had Qbert, we've had, I mean, even when Calix and TB were on 6 decks, they didn't even come through for a sound check.
I would like to think that part of it has to do with, you know, the agencies letting them know, because we've worked with a lot of these agencies for years, so I'd like to think that they play a role in letting them know, hey, these guys know what they're doing, don't worry. So maybe that's part of the reason why they don't feel the need to sound check. So it's kind of like going to an Insomniac show, you know. Not comparing us to them, but I'm just saying, like, when you're working with professional people, it's a lot easier to trust that they're going to do their job right. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, the first time we had him come out and he wanted to do that sound check, the first thought in my mind was, I wonder what it must have been like for these guys back in the day, you know, because the drum and bass room was always the shit room. They threw no lighting in there whatsoever. Like, I can't even imagine what these dudes had to go through back in the day with the decks and the needles and
the terrible sound systems
and MCs and
whoa.
No,
well,
I mean that. It's just like
I'm joking too.
That shit makes it clip sometimes.
Maybe you guys shouldn't redline, dude.
No, it's totally not your fault at all.
You know?
It's all of our faults. No, I'm joking with you because, I mean, yes, I think MCs definitely add to the clipping of a system in times, and that's where, you know, MCs need to kind of find their voice and learn that the music isn't necessarily about them, you know, and add to the music, not be the music, essentially.
I love having an MC in the set, but it has to be at the right time. You know, it can't be too much, it can't be too little, and that's really the art.
Dude, I feel naked without one. Like, when I go out and play and there's no MC, it's just a little bit weird. Like,
really?
Well, it's a little bit weird because, like, I guess it's not so much now, but, like, back in the day when we were doing Liquid Sundays and we were doing Wednesday nights, like, they were always there. So like when they weren't, it was just like kind of weird. And
let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you straight up. And the reason I'm asking you guys is because you guys are the DJs here. I'm the MC, and so obviously I'm biased and I have an opinion, but I'm one of those few MCs that is very honest about MCs as far as learn when to be quiet, learn your range, just learn to shut the up. I think that's the number one rule. But my question for you guys is, do you think drum and bass is the same? Like, are drum and bass parties the same without an MC? Without a good drum and bass MC?
No, definitely not.
They're not the same, but I think it comes down to the MC and the DJ. Like there's some sets where
How
the
well
MC
do they
is
work
so bad.
together?
Yeah, the MC is so bad, but the DJ is so good. I'd rather just hear the DJ by himself. And
For
there's
sure.
sometimes where the DJ is still good, but maybe not like epic. But the MC is so great, I couldn't imagine it without the MC.
Okay.
So I think it really comes down to both. It's who's on stage performing. What's their synergy? How are they working together? Because sometimes it doesn't work and it falls apart, and then you want it solo. But if they can vibe together, then it just makes it that much better. It's next level. So
Not
that's
only
just my
that, when I first, for those who don't know, I played house for about 6 years before I started playing drum and bass. And one of the things that made me want to go over to drum and bass was the opportunity to work with MCs. And because I just wanted to be able to do more. And with house, there's really not much you can do. You could just play it, kind of. But drum and bass is one of the only things in the world where you can literally just stop the track and wind it a bit and then just play it again. And like those were things that like I wanted to get more involved with and be around. And
I know where you're coming from, because I mean, one thing I've always said about the job of the MC, especially, and one of the things that I love the most about being an MC is that I'm that middle ground, that interaction between the DJ and the crowd. And so people live vicariously through me. I'm living vicariously through the DJ, and we're all kind of in this synergy where I feel like that's missing
it's a
from
carousel. It goes up, down,
round
and
and
around.
I feel that's like a lot. We talk about this all the time at the house shows where the crowds are so different and the vibes are so different. Whereas they don't, like an entire crowd will have their back to the DJ. Whereas a drum and bass show, it's just they're there for that music. They're there for that DJ. They're there for that MC. They're there for that talent, and that's what they want. But the coolest things about an MC is that they can take a crowd, like where you have like take a DJ like Andy C, right? Andy C already takes you on a fucking ride, right? But if you add a proper MC like GQ, Armani Rain,
Armani's probably one of my favorites.
any of those MCs, and you put them on an Andy C set, it takes it to that next level. And that's why I kind of was alluding to earlier, where like I personally don't think drum and bass is the same without a proper MC. In my opinion, I think a party is not the same without a proper MC, because that's the difference between a crowd is when you have an MC who's really toasting a crowd and really being interactive with a crowd, getting that crowd to make noise, step and repeat, follow, and I think that's such a different element that a lot of different electronic music shows are missing.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but you are the first MC I ever played with.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. You probably don't know that, but...
And you are the first MC to ever give a mic to somebody who wasn't an MC in the middle of my set. So thank you for that.
That was pretty
and,
cool,
Oh,
actually.
it was recorded too. So
You can check that out on
hear it
our
forever.
on our Mixcloud.
Big ups to Wolf.
Big ups to Wolf.
Badass drum and bass
Seriously?
DJ, but even better MC.
Seriously?
That's what I'm saying.
This is Real Talk with Ridder on the United by Bass Network.
One thing I wanted to get into with both of you, because you are both DJs, and Garva, you're a promoter, Patrick, you're a stage manager. You guys have been around the production and
Performance.
not just performance, but the back end of throwing shows and have certain concepts and ideas of how things should be. And the reason I bring this up is because this week DJ Carnage dropped a bit of knowledge on all of us, you know, about how opening DJs should act. And, you know, Ghost, do you have that tweet readily available that you can read?
I do.
Please. And make sure to talk into the microphone.
It says, opening DJ should always bang it out. The headlining DJ gets mad at you. It just shows they're insecure, and that one opening slot could be important in front of an agent or a promoter, so give it your all. It could make or break you.
What were your initial thoughts on when you read that the first time?
It's complete bullshit.
Garva? 1 second.
Blazing!
Well, you're talking about an aggravating topic, so I got to blaze it a little bit and keep me calm.
No, I get you.
No, I mean, like, I personally, I feel like there's, like, I like where he said, like, give it your all. You know, you don't know who's watching you. Like, you make sure you do a killer performance, but that doesn't mean you do it with just a bunch of bangers.
Right.
Like yeah, if you want to kill it, but put together a proper set in a proper time, but do it so well that for that time slot, for that vibe, it's amazing. It's
just
phenomenal.
because you play chill music doesn't mean
you're not playing a banging set.
Yeah, right? Like,
no, that was kind of like, that was what I thought instantly. And as a promoter and as someone who, you know, books talent all the time, we talked about this in the first episode last month about, you know, opening DJs at SD Union, and you come through and you play a proper liquid set, your time according set, you're going to get to play later and you're going to play a better slot. That's what impresses me more as a promoter. And the whole, like, oh, you never know what promoter or agent is going to be in the crowd that's going to make or break you. Well, that status, that Twitter status that he posted, is directed only towards people who are playing main stages at festivals.
Promoters
because let's
aren't,
be real.
They don't need a midnight DJ, right? Like, if you're a new guy and you're opening, you're not gonna be playing that midnight slot with all those bangers. So,
well, I was more alluding to, like, let's just say, like, let's take EDC for example, right? If you're playing the main stage as a drum bass artist and at EDC and you're playing at 2 o'clock, that's where you're, you know what? It's out the fucking door. You're going to play every banger you want to play, you know, from here to Kingdom Come, because, yeah, you are a headliner technically. It's all headliners on those stages, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're opening it, you're going to play what you're going to play, you know? But if we're talking on a local level and you're talking about a regional level, like, you can't expect opening DJs to come out and bang it out, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves as far as opening DJs here in San Diego or anywhere else for that matter, is that coming in and playing, you know, heavy dance floor stuff that's going to be played at midnight to 1 to 2 a.m. You're playing it at 9 p.m. to a crowd of what? Crickets. Nobody.
I don't know. I might have a little bit of a biased opinion. So when I first started DJing, I could only play what I could afford to play. Like, records were $10, you know, or $7 for domestic or whatever, and I couldn't afford to buy a bunch of liquid for the opening slot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was rough. And I did that. I was that guy. I banged it out opening because I didn't know what I was doing. That is a learning slot. They give you that slot so you can learn what to do.
No, but you know what? Hey, more credit to you, because that was back then where you were only getting tunes through, you know, when it was vinyl.
Well, now I can afford to buy whatever I want.
Any DJ now has no excuse, especially in the age of ripping music for free, too, that people all do, you know? Even people who aren't paying for music, there's no excuse that you can't put together a liquid set. And I brought it up in the first episode of how people have lied to us, you know, in the past and said they would play a liquid set and then come through and just bang the fuck out. Yep. And, you know, have those people played for us again? No.
Well, in my opinion, if you can't read the room, you probably shouldn't even be playing.
Okay, but but if there's no one in the room, you know.
So you should know that. You should recognize that and play accordingly, right? But
see, but I get the opposite. We'll hear this. Well, if it's only my friends that I brought out that are there to see me play at, you know, 9 p.m., then I should be able to play what I want. And there's a small part of me that goes, you know what? I see where you're coming from, and I get what you're saying, but what
you're
don't
basically auditioning.
It's not just
for
that.
another gig.
But it's not just that. It's you're also setting the tone for the rest of the evening. And I can't tell you how many parties that I've been to from here to LA that an opening DJ starts off hard, where then the next DJ feels like they need to go harder, and then the next DJ needs to go harder, and you've just set the tone for it to be a very aggressive, hard night where no one can get into a vibe, and there is no vibe.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, to your point, when you're playing a festival, like an Insomniac show, it's all headliners open and close. You're coming prepared to just hear everybody bang it out to the best of their ability. But when it's on a local or regional level, like a smaller show, if there's only one or two headliners, the people buying tickets are there to see those headliners. And if you come in banging it out from the get-go, not only does everyone have to step it up, but by the time they get to the headliner, their ears are exhausted because they've just been banged out for 3 or 4 hours, And then it makes the headliner that you came out to see, their set isn't quite as special because it's like, oh, I've been listening to banging sets for 4 hours, and now you're playing the same banging set. It doesn't make it special. It takes away from the act that you're there to see. So as a local artist, you should know that you're there to build the night. You're there to build the hype, and you can have a banging set without playing all the bangers, and that's the
most
real skill.
Important thing I would say to people is like, there is really great chill music, dude. Every genre has good music. Even country has some good music. You just got to find that, and that's your job as a DJ is to go find music. Like that's
100%, isn't that? Yeah.
Thing like everything you do pre-night is more important than what you do on the night. You know what I mean? Like
I get you. Yeah.
Here's what I do.
Okay.
When I first started DJing, there was this thing about like don't pre-program your sets.
I've seen those arguments.
Don't pre-program your sets. You need to read the crowd. You need to know what they were into, and like I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to have to like freestyle every tune and put on a song and then wonder what am I going to do next, and then I've seen people.
I would never be able to do that. I've put together a couple sets out of the music I've made, and that was hard enough. So I can't imagine just trying to freestyle and like, hey, I'm going to just play this tune now.
Yeah. So what I do...
Well, I'm sorry. I got used to it. It's a little terrifying at first, I think, but you get used to freestyling. Kind of like you as an MC, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You freestyle some lines.
What I do is I put together...
We call them bars, bro.
Sets of 4. I'll put together a bunch of sets of 4 tunes. Like, so I can play 4, and if that's not doing well, I can switch it up, and I don't have to freestyle every track, and I have 4 that go good together, and then another 4 to go good together, and all I have to do in between is kind of find something to match those two. And it works a lot easier for me, and you still get that freestyle aspect where you can read the room, and see if people are liking this 4, you keep that 4 going. If people aren't liking that 4, you switch to another 4, and you still get that freestyle aspect, but you don't have to wonder what you're going to do every single track. And it helped me so much, and it's just, I love it. I love DJing. I love this whole thing. I really cared about everything. Like, I really wanted to know, like, where does the sound go when it comes out of the mixer? What does the amps do? What are the, like...
I just want to know where this story's going.
All right, it's going nowhere.
Where you going? Nowhere.
I'm gonna put my dick in.
MC Ritter.
I'm gonna put my dick in.
And Ghost MD.
We are back live from Spin Nightclub in San Diego, California. I'm here with Ghost MD and my good friend Garva. We are going to play a game right now. It is called...
Let's play Knife to Your Throat.
This is where we ask Garva a series of questions, rapid fire. He has to either answer with one of the answers provided or yes or no. So we are going to get into this with the quickness. Are you ready, Garva?
I think so. As ready as I'll ever be.
Ghost, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You sure about that?
I am so ready.
You got your questions ready?
almost have my questions ready.
Are,
got something
are they
ready.
on that? Are they in that phone right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Do you have your questions ready?
Yeah, but
All
I'm
right,
not
well,
the one
then
who's.
ask
I'm not
him-
the one who doesn't have a phone on because
Well, ask him the questions, and by the time you're done, my questions will be ready.
the whole point is you're supposed to answer. You're supposed to ask.
All right, my questions are ready. My questions are ready.
All right, here we go.
Let's play Knife to Your Throat.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Pho or ramen?
Neither.
LSD or Molly?
LSD.
Jungle or DMB?
D&B.
Burrito or taco?
Burrito.
A side or B side?
A-side.
Vinyl or digital?
Digital.
House or techno?
Ooh, house.
Vodka or tequila?
Vodka.
Top or bottom?
Top.
Strawberry or grape jelly?
Strawberry.
Best Mexican food in SD?
Garcia's and Carlsbad.
Sync button?
Hell no.
South Park or Rick and Morty?
South Park.
I think I'm actually Rick and Morty.
Do aliens exist?
Yes.
Jump up or Nero?
Nero.
Would you rather a pig on TV or be eaten alive by wooks at a festival?
Eaten alive by wolves at the festival. I'll go out going viral.
Would you rather Donald Trump or go back to Slovenia?
Back to Slovenia. That's all I got.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for having me.
You were the worst, dude.
I know. I'm sorry.
You are the worst.
You're gonna have to give me a number.
Bro, you need
from
to
now
you need
on
to
of
clean
how
up
many
your you need to
questions
clean up
you
your
want me to
face
ask.
right now, dude.
Hey.
You need to clean up your nostril and clean up your face.
Nobody can see this, right?
It's all over.
Hey guys.
This is Real Talk with Ridder on the United by Bass Network.
All right, we're getting into the last segment of the show today. We have Garva here, floating down the lazy river with us at Spin Nightclub for the second episode of Real Talk with Ridder. Ghost MD joins us as always, being everyone's local favorite asshole here in San Diego.
Everyone's favorite. They still like me.
I wish you could see the look on his face right now.
I wish you could see everything on his face right now.
I'm still kind of blasted by the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're pretty blasted.
Well, if you're gonna be pricked, you better be funny, all right?
I guess so. I mean, okay. Well, moving along. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, Garva, is your new tune that you have recently gotten the masters back from, that you've been working with Ben Soundscape from Intrigue Recording out there in Bristol.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, Ben and I go back, God, at this point, I think it's almost 10 years now. And just a really good friend of mine, obviously a great producer, runs a killer label. And
very great person.
Yeah, very great person. One of my favorite people, really. But yeah, I got an opportunity last year to work with an artist in LA, Alexa Villa, and she sent me some of her music. And so I got to work on a tune and put it together, and Ben and Colette.
Now, is that Linda Villa's daughter?
Yeah, Linda Villa's daughter.
Nice.
Yeah, she's really, really talented. She's got a great voice, and she's busting her ass up in LA working on making waves. And so she basically reached out and just said, hey, I've got some music. I'd like to hear some electronic remixes of my stuff. Maybe you're interested. So obviously I took her up on the challenge and got to work. And last June, Ben Soundscape and Colette Warren were playing for us. They were on tour, and I just kind of showcased the tune. I wanted them to hear it and see what they thought, and Ben liked it, and so I said, hey, let's do a little bit of a collab here. Maybe you can put a little bit of your flair on it. And so, yeah, he did, and, it came out really great, and we decided to shop it, and it got picked up by Prestige Recordings, and it's going to be released sometime in the near future. I'd imagine in 2020 it'll be coming out. But we just got the masters back, and I'm super excited about it, and honored to have it released on Prestige, and yeah, it's a good tune. So I'm looking forward to making many more. I'm sure it won't be our last collab.
Sorry if I just missed it, but is there a release date set yet for it?
Not yet. No,
Okay.
I know it's coming soon. I just don't know the exact date quite yet.
And it's on Prestige Recordings, right?
Yeah.
Prestige Worldwide.
Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes, right? All right, well, cool. I'm excited to hear this. I remember hearing a little bit of it when you were working on it, actually, so when it was in a work in progress. And so I haven't heard the masters in the full version yet, so this is really cool, and I'm stoked to have your new tune. And again, what's it called?
It's called A Good Life. And actually, Ben's been playing it out quite a bit, so it's been cool. It's been getting some good response.
I'm liking this so far.
Yeah.
It's sexy.
That's right. We made it just for you.
Listen.
Every day.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Tune.
Thank you. I love that part.
Yeah, I like a little break.
Yeah.
And the drum break, and yeah.
Yeah, I have to give Ben credit on the bass line. He definitely was the one that fine-tuned it. Yeah. I was happy with the track when I gave it to him, but I straight up told him, like, my bass line just wasn't there, and he came in and gave that. I'm like, oh, yes.
Shouts out to Ben Soundscape, man. I love that guy. I love Ben.
He's a very talented guy, man.
Shout out to Colette, too.
Yeah, right.
Family.
She's doing big things, too, man.
Hell yeah.
KCDC, have you heard it yet?
No.
No, she started a little group with, what is it? It's, oh my god, I don't even remember.
It's all good,
band
dude.
that she does?
Let's get back into this tune.
There's like, I'll pull it up.
Now, when you made this tune, did you do most of the tune and then send it off to Ben?
Yeah, well, I had written a complete tune, so I had made everything already, and then I just knew, though, that, you know, Ben liked what he heard, and obviously I'm an amateur producer, so I feel like there was a lot more that could have been done, and clearly Ben did that. So, yeah, I wrote a whole tune, and I gave it to him, and then I just told him, I trust him, obviously. I'm like, you know, tune it up however you want, add your flair, your style, you know, throw your classic sound on there, and he did, and like I said, I was happy with it when I made it, and then I heard it after he had, you know, put his hands on it, and I was like, Jesus, this is way, way better. So
yeah, it's definitely come a long way since when I first heard it back at your house.
You heard it in the initial stages as I was beginning to work on everything, and yeah, you know,
it's definitely come a long way.
Yeah, so I've actually only played it out one time when I opened for LTJ last October with Ghost MD and everyone else. I dropped that track. That's the only time I played it live, though, so.
No, I'm stoked for you, man. Congrats. Good tune, man. Good tune.
Thank you.
With that said, we're going to bring that down. And if people want to find that tune, where should they go to find you? Because I know the tune's not out yet and doesn't have a release date, but where can they keep up with you?
Facebook really is the main spot, I'd say. Facebook.com/DJ_Garva.
Okay.
That'd be the main point. That's where I kind of keep everything going for right now.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, like he said, follow him on Facebook, guys. The Lazy River has just brought Evlo into the mix here.
The one and only.
The one and only Evlo.
The one
has been
and
floating down the
only.
Lazy River and has been brought in. Welcome, welcome. Hi, bud. Why don't you say hi to everybody?
How's it going, everybody?
Evlo is one of our favorite people on Earth. We're listening to Garva's new tune right now with Ben Soundscape.
I love Garva and Ben Soundscape.
It's true. We've cuddled many a times.
There's also a party going on downstairs. I don't know if you guys knew.
How is the party going on?
Fucking dope.
That's what's up.
And when you mean dope, you mean like it's like raging, right?
For the record, he said yes.
He said yes, so that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, Garva, great tune, man. I really appreciate you letting us play that. That was really cool.
And just the word on KCDC is Christ, Colette Warren, and Nada, and Charlie Bricks.
Okay. Thanks for the update on that. Appreciate it. Circling back.
This is Real Talk with Ridder on the United by Base Network.
I want to thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for
This was
joining
fun,
us, sitting in with Real Talk for Ridder.
Yeah.
Ghost MD, what are you at, number-wise? Let's take a tally.
I went through 2 24s and 4 Coronas.
All right. It's not bad.
And
well, no, we don't need to mention that. It's all over your face. Don't worry about it.
other stuff.
I just want to throw it out there that I hope that the crowd's on my side tonight, that I beat the king, because
Yeah.
I like to take the reins as champ.
Let's upset the champ.
I think I can beat him.
Oh shit! It finally happened to Garva too.
This is the time for it to end because my mic just fell into my chest.
Well, let's say one last thing from Garva. Any shout out? Anything you want to say last?
Shout outs to our team, all the promoters in the scene, all the fans. I mean, shout out to everybody, all the people tuning in. Got a lot of love for what we do here, and of course, big ups to Ben Soundscape for helping me with that epic tune.
And where can they follow you on Facebook?
They can follow me on Facebook.com.
Just don't
I don't know why you gotta bust my balls
Garva.
about this.
We had to at the end. We had to get that.
That's true, right?
Just don't call him DJ.
All right, you guys, I'm out.
All right, late. So yeah, we just want to say thank you, Garva, for being here tonight. This was a great second episode. We didn't think we'd be back here, to be very honest with you. It's been a lazy river. We've flown through Spin Nightclub from start to finish. We're going to go enjoy the last set of the night, which is GOP. It's 3 o'clock in the morning here. Ghost, any last words? What do you think of the second episode?
Where are we?
Okay, perfect. And until next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Talk with Ridder with your hosts MC Ridder and Ghost MD.